You know what? I
What?
found these three job things. There's these
Okay.
three job options on the newspaper. Have you heard of a newspaper before?
They still exist?
They do. So I found these three options, and these are the only three options we have today.
Okay, well, what are the three options?
We can go work in science, we can go work in science, or we can go punch people.
Well, I'm pretty sure we can't really do science, and I'm pretty sure punching people doesn't pay enough, so I think we're going to end up doing science.
Or we could wait a day and look at the newspaper again and see tomorrow if there's anything different.
Yeah, it's not going to be different. It's always going to be the same. Let's just go ahead and do science.
You know what? I think we should do science. So let's go do science.
Okay.
Hey, this is Science Place.
Wow. I've never seen so many people posed shouting, "For science!" in one place before.
They have nice signs that are for science.
Yes, all for science.
Hey, do you have those things with you that say that we can do the science?
Yeah, sure. Here's the science.
I have some science things too. Hey, we completed this thing for science.
Wow, we did good.
Okay, we turned that in. Now we got to find another thing in the newspaper because we did that science thing.
Oh, yeah, or we could just do the science again, because that's the easy thing.
No, the science thing's already gone. We have to do a different thing now.
Okay, so
That's how jobs work since you blew up the store. So this one has a science, this one has a science, and this one has we got to talk to people.
Yeah, talking to people's no good. We're going to have to do science.
I don't have the papers to do this science.
It doesn't matter. That's all we can do for points, so we're going to have to do science.
Do you mean money? You mean money when you say points, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Okay, so let's try to do this science.
Okay.
Oh no, we don't have all the things for sciences. I guess our time was wasted.
Well, it wasn't like we were going to do anything productive anyway. Maybe next time we should do science.
Maybe so. You know where's a good place to do science?
Where?
At the game shop.
Sure. We can practice science there.
So we can be sitting down at the table talking about the political crisis in Afghanistan and how that really affects me personally. Hey, that's Starfleet Fleet Captains. Remember when we played that? What did you think about that?
Ah, I remember playing that. That was good times, I think.
Was it? You remember?
Well, I suppose it all depends on which side you play. If you play the Federation, then yeah, good times. You're in for a lot of exploring and a lot of winning. If you play the Klingons, and you like to lose, then yeah, you're in for a good time.
The Klingons don't always lose. Just if you play the normal game, which is 10 points, and by the time you get near that, the Federation has already explored everything and gotten all the 10 points.
Even if you play to 22 points, they still lose pretty badly.
Did we play to 22 points? We played some. Yeah, we did.
We played to all the points at one point, all the ships. And the game still wasn't long enough for the Klingons to reach the Federation ships and fight them off before the Federation would win.
You know, if there was someone listening in the walls, there's never. If they did, they'd probably smell really bad because they've lived in the walls for like weeks. But I don't think they would know what we're talking about. How would you describe Starfleet Fleet Captains?
Well, I'm not sure why I'd even want to explain that to someone that lives in walls, but I mean, it's a very fun concept. You have your fleet of ships, and you have your map, which is actually tiles face down, so you don't know what you're encountering there. And you take turns back and forth. One person controls the Federation, the other controls the Klingon Empire, and you move the ships and explore territory. You've got little quests that you try to complete for points. You have crew that you can use to improve your ship, or beam down and get eaten by monsters if they have red shirts on. It's a lot like
from their ships from the movie and the TV show and the things.
Oh yeah, all kinds of
Most
different
of them.
things out. Which is cool. I mean, you feel like you are, a fleet admiral, really.
Yeah, the title of fleet captain, I mean, I guess it's correct because you are the captain of a fleet, but I think for more of a layperson, an admiral fits that title better. So I guess they were having trouble.
Star Trek fans, yeah.
Yeah, so you're not captaining one ship. You'll have captains that can be on a ship, but you control the whole fleet in a certain sector, which for flavor reasons you can make up why they're trying to do X here and the Klingons are trying to do this or that.
Mm-hmm.
There's also expansions that bring out the Dominion from Deep Space Nine and also, what's the other one? Romulans from Next Generation, and also the original series. I have actually played both of those. I had to bribe someone with rope, and I made them play. And the Romulans play very Romulan-like. You don't really attack that much. You work with a lot of introduces a new mechanic, and you work more with subterfuge and things like that. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Dominion work on, they're a mix between the Romulans and the Klingons. They fight. They don't cloak. They just fight and they work on subterfuge things, and they all four play flavor-wise differently and mechanically differently.
That's one thing I've always liked about the game is really whatever group that you're controlling really feels like that group. The Klingons really do have everything built for combat.
Yeah.
Romulans for subterfuge. I mean, it really feels like you are in control of these groups. Unfortunately, because of the way Star Trek is written, from the game's point of view, I love most of the series out there. I mean, it is written so the Federation always wins. So you can kind of see that played out in the game.
Whenever I'm playing the game and I'm playing against someone that's the Federation, I'm very scared because there's always diplomacy or some other tactic where if you try to attack them, they can mess that up. But I have found that they don't always win when you're playing the other races. But versus the Klingons, they usually do win a lot. There is one mechanic they added with the expansions where you can use your sensors, and if you get past your defense's shields or something, or you get past their sensor rating, you can change out one of their objectives. You get rid of one of their objectives. So you can, if you know that they're going to build 3 space stations here and they get X amount of points, you can do an attack and remove that mission so they no longer get points for it, which is nice because I think in the base game there's not a lot of reason to ever have your shields boosted up. And we should probably say for all that guy, the lizard. You ever see the X-Files episode where that weird lizard eel thing lives in the sewer and its mouth gets attached to the side and it sucks at stuff?
What's X-Files?
It's a TV show from the Fox network in the 90s. They're coming out with a new TV show. Anyway, there's this monster that lives in the darkness. I imagine there's people living in the walls here, and they're like eel people, and they're up. Anyway.
I always imagine the Living Shadows. That the guy from that one book series whose shadow can take over other people's shadows and hear everything they say.
What are books?
Those are the things people had before VCRs.
Speaking of VCRs, we probably need to get a new job. Oh, we were trying to do that before we stopped here. Anyway, what I was saying is this game works on hero clicks. I guess it's hero clicks. Your ship is on a little stand, and you have little clicky things. And each of your ships has
stats by moving them back and forth.
You have an attack stat, you have a shield stat, you have a sensor stat, you have an engine stat. Mm-hmm. And you can move over space and you explore things. It has that feel some other games give you like the feel of like you're playing a particular episode. This game gives you more of a feel of you're playing like a particular season. Like this adventure happens, and the next adventure happens, and then these happen, and you have this thing, and it's like a whole season or even a series. So it's kind of hard to explain. And with the base game, you get Klingon versus Federation, expansions are Romulans and Dominion. On Board Game Geek, there's expansions people have made that involve the Ferengi and the Borg. Those look pretty cool. I haven't played those, but I've heard they're very nice. The Ferengi work more on influence, which I think is really cool.
I'm not surprised that it would have such a strong following. Star Trek's very popular, and not only with a mass number of people, but also very devoted people.
Yes, and this game I can see it takes a little while to play, like an hour and a half maybe.
For a short game, yeah.
Yeah, for a short game, I guess. Yeah, it's the setup's still. I've played games with longer setup, but this one's not bad. The main setting up is getting a deck of cards that you have, because you have your ships, you have the play field, you have a deck of cards that have your players, your actions, and then you have like an encounter deck, and you have your mission deck. There's a lot of decks to work with.
Right.
But unlike a lot of card decks, there's no deck building mechanic whatsoever, besides the initial, I'm going to take the Captain Kirk deck and the peace building deck, while you take the House of Moog and the House of Duras deck. And then I hide from you.
There's deck choosing, but not deck building.
Yeah, there's deck choosing, no deck building. And then the Federation tries to science while the Klingons try to fight.
And because you can do, just to be clear as to why the Federation almost always wins, the Federation gets more points for doing things that don't involve other players. So you start off on opposite sides of the universe, or galaxy, as the case may be. And the Federation's able to get most of their points in before the first ships even meet. Whereas the Klingons, since they're big on combat and winning battles, which they're very good at, by the time you get to the Federation, the game's almost over.
And it's not to say the Federation isn't a wimp. They can easily fight. They are quite adequate at fighting and defending themselves. They're actually really good at defending themselves.
Defending themselves, yes.
Fighting, two of their ships can easily take a Klingon ship. And that's fine. But it's not what they're best at.
Right.
And if you play to each group's strengths, you'll get a good feeling for Star Trek. Which I think is what's great about this game. I like it a lot.
Well, good. So, you think you want to play the game?
I got like 2 hours to spare. Yeah, let's play it. Joshua, you want to play it?
No. I think that Star Trek should be watched, not played. And anyone that enjoys playing a board game or an RPG based on Star Trek, I have no hard feelings against. But me personally, I think it's much more of a series to enjoy watching.
Fair enough.
Shut up and sit down.
Thank you for listening. If you'd like to check out other episodes or other random things we do, check us out over at burneverythinggaming.podbean.com. If you'd like to sit in the walls and listen to us talk about something in particular, email us at burneverythinggaming@gmail.com, or the Facebooks or other things to talk at people. That would be great. You're awesome, I think. Anyway, hope you enjoy.